This is Terry Williamson with RVDestinations.blog. I want to recommend a bike shop in Memphis to you. He really helped us a lot. We started our trip, of course, in Bremen, Georgia. I had a bike rack on the front of my F350 Super Duty diesel, carrying two bikes, one for Lincoln, one for myself. I just wasn't comfortable with that bike rack. It didn't seem to be stable. The bike rack was wobbling, just too much for me to be comfortable. When we got to Memphis, while Cheryl and Lincoln were going through the Bass Pro Shop, equipping Lincoln to fish, I found this bike shop all about bikes, and I went there and found a bike rack with the help of the fellow that owned the shop, Tommy. So Tommy convinced me that the Swagman bike rack is one that I'd be more comfortable with than what I had on my truck. So I bought that, and Tommy installed that. He assembled the bike rack while I went back and joined Cheryl and Lincoln at the Bass Pro Shop. And then we went, after the Bass Pro Shop where we bought Lincoln all kinds of stuff to fish with, then we went to the bridge that goes across the Mississippi River along Interstate 55. It's a walking bridge. It was something on my bucket list. I wanted to walk across the Mississippi River, and we enjoyed that. But we did that, and then when we finished, we went back to the bike shop, picked up the bike. Tommy installed the bike rack for me on the front of my truck. Showed me how to take it on and off, and I was comfortable with that. And for the rest of the trip, on up the Mississippi River and all the way through Michigan and back down to Georgia, I was comfortable with that bike rack. Turns out that the bike rack I had was probably fine. I just didn't have it installed properly. I didn't know. I didn't have it ratcheted down tight in that 2x2 hitch. I had put the bolt through the hitch enough that the carter pin hole, came out, and I could get a carter pin in it, and so I thought that was fine. Well, that's not fine. You're supposed to ratchet that thing down tight and then put the carter pin in it. I didn't have that. I didn't have that installed properly. But despite that, I like this new rack a lot better. The new rack is a Swagman rack. It has locking arms that come down on the two bikes, and the 1 1/4 inch tube that goes into my 2x2 hitch has a locking mechanism on it. So the key that I have with it operates the two locking arms, and it operates the lock that goes into the 2x2 hitch. So one key is all I need that does all three things. So I could feel comfortable parking the truck somewhere and not worry about somebody stealing the bikes off of it, because everything locks down. And the other bike rack that I had didn't do that. I had to use chains and things like that to lock the bikes down. Bike rack performed great. I like it. It's heavy duty. The other bike rack is still a good bike rack. I just don't like it as well. So now I have two bike racks. So I can put one, when I'm not hauling my fifth wheel, I can put one on the back and one on the front and haul all the bikes that I want to haul. Anyway, I highly recommend All About Bikes in Memphis, Tennessee. So if you're there and you need a bike shop, check it out.